Hey guys, first off let me say I'm sorry for any delays. I'm sorry for rescheduling this video. As I said, it was New Year's Eve, and it had just gone past midnight that night, and I was just celebrating with my mum for a while. But anyway, I'm doing this one for tonight, and because today is the 1 year anniversary of when WWE had brought Monday Night Raw to Netflix. And it's also the 1 year anniversary of when John Cena started his farewell tour with WWE. And as the night started off, we had Triple H in the ring with the microphone and saying only 4 words, or 6 words, 5 maybe. But anyway, the words are, "Welcome to the Netflix era." And then we had another legend, and that is Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, or Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And he was being a generous guy for once to Cody Rhodes, even though outside the ring they are great friends, just following the script. After a few matches, we got a surprise with the one and only John Cena with the farewell t-shirt, hat, wristbands, giving Los Angeles something to yell and scream for. But he did obviously remind everyone that that it was the start of his farewell tour with WWE. But the good news is that he made the announcement that he would be competing for his last Royal Rumble in Indianapolis, Minnesota. And that was when the farewell tour kicked off. And of course there was the match that I really loved from the Netflix debut was the tribal combat match between Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns. And I just loved that match. I'm glad Roman got the Ulafa back. It's I know they're both half Samoan, but Roman is the rightful tribal chief, even though outside of the ring, the true tribal chief is probably The Rock. Yeah, so that's my favourite match. But I did love at the press conference of that day was when John Cena gave everyone a bit of a heads up on what were the plans for his final for the farewell tour. And like he said, 100% after his last match in December, he would officially retire. And he was looking at how old he was going to be last year as well for a bit. But then he told everyone that 100% that he will be at his last Royal Rumble, at the men's Royal Rumble match in Indianapolis, Minnesota. And he of course told everyone that besides his last Royal Rumble, he was going to be at his last WrestleMania in Las Vegas. And he said he has one more shot in Vegas. And he was hoping to become a 17-time champion. And this, by the way, guys, is the thing that set me off. So, by the time they got to the Royal Rumble in Minnesota, and John Cena came out number, I can't remember what number, but I can obviously remember the reaction to the crowd as soon as they hear his theme music, and the agility, excitement that he brought to the crowd that night, and determined to win his last Royal Rumble and become a third-time Royal Rumble winner. But the last few remaining superstars was Jey Uso and of course John Cena himself. John got so close and he never thought he would give up, because that's his motto. But then of course Jey Uso got the upper hand and managed to eliminate the champ on his last Royal Rumble. And of course I was devastated that John had lost. But that doesn't mean he would not attend his last WrestleMania in Vegas. So he went to a press conference after the match, and of course he looked devastated that he lost. But then in return he made an announcement that he would be competing at the men's Elimination Chamber match in Toronto, Canada. And of course he already told Toronto that he announced his retirement. And he said that what is best for business is that he main events WrestleMania and become a 17-time champion, and to hopefully one day shake the hand of the person who wins 18-time championship. And of course, a few weeks later, they're in Canada. They're doing the Elimination Chamber, and the last one just had the women's, but the women's Elimination Chamber match. But then the final event was the men's version of the Elimination Chamber. I'm glad John was in the match, because it would be his only ticket into getting into his last road to WrestleMania. And then Cody Rhodes, the undisputed heavyweight champion, King of the Ring winner, and two-time Royal Rumble winner, son of WWE Hall of Famer and legend, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, came out after John picked up the win and got his road to WrestleMania and select a champion of his choice to defend their title for. Now this, guys, was the night that set me off, was because after John and Cody, well, John had already decided who to face at his last WrestleMania. But of course, that's when Travis Scott and Dwayne Johnson came out, because of a question that's been on Cody's mind for about a week, that The Rock wanted Cody Rhodes' soul. His mind, his soul, as his brother. And I kind of hate that version of The Rock, because he acted and dressed like a heel. And of course Cody thought about it and turned him down. He would never give his soul to the final boss. And John was there to witness it, and that was a few moments before I saw John hugging Cody And then I see the camera zooming in on Cena's face when he looks at The Rock, and that's when The Rock gives him the sign for take him out. He looks at Cody and knocks him out and brutally attacks him. From that moment on, during his farewell run, John Cena became a heel. And I was shocked, stunned. And that's why I gave John second place on my list of celebrities. I grew up watching John, and I'll always love him. And like I always said, I will cherish our meet and greet at Comic-Con forever. Yeah, I got him second place because of that heel turn. I thought, what the hell is he thinking? The Rock, he sold his soul to The Rock. Cody may have refused to sell his soul to the final boss, but the champ, John Cena, sold his soul to the final boss. And then for about a couple of weeks leading up to WrestleMania, John and Cody went up against each other's throats. And then, of course, by WrestleMania, they had their match, and John came up with dirty tricks to trick Cody and pick up the win. Sort of lie, cheat, and steal. So he was kind of acting like Dirty Dominic Mysterio. But after a few months, John picked up the won the match, and broke Nature Boy Ric Flair's record and John became 17-time champ, but as a heel. He wasn't a babyface at that time yet. And I was just blown away. I saw the match, completely blown, and yeah. So, happy 1 year anniversary to Monday Night Raw for making its debut on Netflix. And this goes out to, of course, WWE and, of course, to John Cena. Stay hopeful, guys.